Hi, I'm Sharon. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through the ABRSM Theory Grades. Once you've finished your music theory and practice workbook, past papers are an excellent revision resource, and I've worked with you from 2014 to 2018, and now I can bring to you 2019 as well. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets which you can download in US letter or A4, and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best be prepared for your exam and how to make the best use of your time on exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel and share out the videos. And now we're going to get cracking on the next question in the 2019 Grade 2 practice paper. So if you turn with me to page 5, we're going to start on question 6. So we're looking at intervals, and specifically we're asked to look at these melodic intervals. And if you remember, melodic means one after the other, like a melody. Harmonic is when they come together like a chord or a harmony. And they're pretty simple, apart from the fact that you must always remember to count the lowest note, the tonic, as 1. That's the first degree of the scale. The only way you can go wrong is if you forget to count that as 1 and sort of go marching off. So here we can see that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a fifth. If you're not sure and you feel like you might just slip up and forget to count that one, you could actually just step out the degrees of your scale, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and B again, of course. I know there are flats, but your key signature deals with that. And step out the degrees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can see from B, or B flat as it were, to F is a fifth. So you can double check it that way if you like. So let's just press on. So I do suggest you have a go on your own and then just re-access into the video to check your answers through. So let's work through these together now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's an octave. And we know that that is F, because every good boy deserves football and treble clef. F, G, A, B flat to B flat, of course, is an octave. Or you could say eighths. Either of those mean the same thing. So here we are right down in the bass clef, bottom B flat, and then we're just going up from B flat, one step up from the space to the line, and so that's just a second from B flat to C. We can count 1, 2. In some respects, at this moment, you can just sort of count the steps. It hardly matters what note it is. You can count just 1, 2 easily enough, but it's good to be aware of the notes. So if you're not sure, you could always work out your octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you know it's a B flat, an octave lower, B flat to C. So we're an octave higher now, but easier to read. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a sixth, and B flat to G we can see is a sixth. So higher again in the bass clef, next octave up. 1 is the space, 2 is the line, 3 space, 4 line. That's a fourth. And to double check that, we know that's a C, D, E. B flat to E flat, as it were, is a fourth. And then finally up in the treble clef, F, G, A, B flat, we have 1, 2, 3, a third, and that is B, C, D. We can see there that's a D, a third. So there we go. So there's various ways you can approach that. Alternatively, instead of counting there, you could always sketch a piano keyboard out and just count the steps that way, always remembering to count B as 1. Let's press on. So in question 7, we are asked to rewrite this melody, but now putting it into the treble clef, but we've got to keep the pitch the same. And that means just be careful that you don't jump octaves. And the best thing to do is always keep in mind where middle C is. Keep middle C as your anchor point. So we know that in the bass clef, middle C is at the top and it's at the bottom of the treble. It's as if you've met in the middle. Top of bass, bottom of treble. And so there is middle C in your bass, there is middle C in your treble. So C, B, A, G below middle C, C, B, A, G below middle C. And then what I'm going to do is going to count the intervals between each one. So it's very much a same sort of thing now as this. We're using the same techniques. So we're counting this as 1, 2, 3. We're going up a third, 1, 2, 3. And so from here, we're going to go up another third, 1, 2, 3, B, C, D. So up another third, and we can see we're just sort of hopping over the line to the next space. Now, down next door should take us, here's our reference point, that should be middle C. That's a double check point there. Next door note down is the B, and that should be the same as that. So we can just cross-reference back there, down a step. So we're going to need another ledger line. These ledger lines work as sort of extension rungs. As we run out of space, we keep on adding them, line, space, line, space. And that's why we would change clef, because it's much easier to read in a different clef without too many ledger lines. So down a step again, 1, 2. So now we're going down a step again, and double check that should be the same as that, and it is. So now we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're on the E above middle C, C, D, E, that's correct. Back to middle C, there's our checkpoint as it were. Up a step to the D, and we can double check they are the same. So you can see how you're always just cross-referencing to make sure you've not wandered off. So there we have the B below middle C. Notice as well, I'm just doing the note heads for now. I'll worry about the stems later. I've got enough to be thinking about at this point here, just getting the notes in the right place. So next door takes us to middle C. So just check there. Now we're going to go down 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 to C, B, A, C, B, A, that's right. And we can see that that and that should be the same note. There they are, so that's correct. And then now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 steps higher. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps higher to the D above middle C. And then finally we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, adding our ledger lines. And look here, this is the same as this, and so actually they've given us that, so we can be sure that we're correct there. So that's all the hard thinking done. Now we've got to put the stems, and of course now everything is below that middle line, and so now all of the stems are going to be pointing upwards. So by all means use a ruler to keep it all neat and tidy. Ooh, better just extend that a bit. So just quickly pop the stems in. Now here, all of these are going to be beamed together. Bit of revision on your rules of beaming here. You beam in crotchet beats or quarter note beats to reflect this unit value, but this is one exception to the rule. This is right back from grade 1, where if it's only quavers or eighth notes, we can just beam all of those together in this case. If it's in 4 beats per bar, you can't go over the middle of the bar. You don't beam over the centre of the bar, but it's only 2 beats here, so we can beam all of those together. That just stays as a crotchet or a quarter note. These can be beamed. And there we go. That's that. So let's press on to question 8. So then, now we have some musical terms, some performance directions, and this is going to be always presented to you now as multiple choice, but it's a good idea to really give this a good revision, because remember, it's all of grade 1 and all of grade 2 performance direction terms combined. And if you go to the back of your PDF documents, if you go to the last page, I'll give you some revision tips just on how to get those into your head a little bit. And at the end of the grade 1 performance direction PDF section, I'll give you a little test so you can test yourself there. The harder you make it and the more thoroughly you learn it, this bit then becomes easy. Except for sometimes multiple choice can just throw you off track. Sometimes they throw in a bit of a red herring, so keep your eyes peeled to read these definitions carefully. So these show us the first one. Tenuto means held. It's kind of like slightly detached, usually a little bit of pressure, but it's held for full value. So vivace means lively and quick. I would just say, actually, do have a go of these yourself first of all. It doesn't matter if you get them wrong. It's much better to learn by your mistakes. So press pause, have a go, and then re-access into the video and check these answers through. Better to test yourself, really. So let's carry on, hoping that you've done that. Molto means much, so very much. FP. So we know that F means forte or loud, and P means piano, quiet, and so it literally is loud, then immediately quiet. Simple as that. Now, we came across largo in grade 1, which meant slow, so larghetto sort of qualifies that a little bit, and it's just sort of rather slow. There we go. Dolce, sweet. Now, sometimes when you're revising, if you can find some sort of bizarre references, the more weird you make it in your brain to remember these, the more thoroughly you'll learn it. You're making an imprint in your brain. And I always think dolce, sweet little dolly. Just in my brain, that's what makes sense to me. So there we go, sweet. So that's the end of that question. I do hope that's helpful to you. I hope that this is helping you with your studies, and I also hope that you're enjoying working through these papers. They're a great resource and you can get really confident with your knowledge if you keep working through these. Please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.